Coming up on this week's Diz Pod, it's roller coaster week. We're going to talk a ton about roller coasters. It's the Contemporary Resort Deep Dive, and we go inside the parks here on the Diz Pod. Hello and welcome to episode 10. We have made it to episode 10, and I'm going to bring in my compadre, my park bro, Lawrence, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
It's another week. I mean, I feel like people probably think that you and I talk throughout the week.
Yeah.
Or this is when we talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Weeks, right? Life gets in the way.
Yeah, you know, it's busy weekends. Actually, I'm working. I won't even tell you how many days a week right now. And then it's
like the Beatles, 8 days a week.
Exactly. And then it's time for showtime. So I get excited for this all week. We think about what we're going to talk about a couple days before, and we get ready to go.
I think we settle into our process more and more each week. And I think we're becoming more comfortable with it. The scary thing is that part of the feeling comfortable is like, yeah, I'll come home from work and I'll load all the pictures then as we lead up to showtime. It would be nice to have everything done, but it just gets so busy. And the every other week thing where we're in the parks Tuesday and Wednesday, you know, it leaves me Monday. Monday's a very late work night for me. So if I don't get it done on Sunday, which is supposed to be my total relaxed day, it gets pushed to the last minute. So, but we're here and we got it together. The only thing was we had a little I had a misunderstanding. I thought I only had so many pictures to load up for the Contemporary tonight, but we revealed with a couple minutes to go that there were many more. So we're going to share it in a different style tonight, but it won't be as pretty as the other stuff. But we're going to cover the Contemporary tonight as we continue our series of covering all of the resorts in Disney. We won't rest until we get them all.
That's right.
And yeah, Lawrence will be covering that for us tonight. We also will be, it's Coaster Week. And kudos to you because you told me that. And I agreed immediately that this would be a really cool subject to tackle.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw that. I happened to notice technically yesterday was National Roller Coaster Day, so I thought that would be a great subject for this week's show. And I've actually already looked up what is next week, so I actually have something for that week too.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Lawrence contributing to the Diz Pod in more ways than one, and got some cool things to talk about when we hit the inside the parks segment. So I came home today and there's been a lot going on with the channel. Like the last 24 hours has been a little bit of a whirlwind for the channel, and it's all good things. So we have been talking for a while about this is our temporary logo. For the longest time, we wanted to do a whole branding change. Certainly not change the name, but change the look of the channel. And so we're just no longer going to show Tammy on camera. That's going to be the change. No, I'm just kidding. No, we wanted to change. So we revealed this logo and we decided that's not the way we want to go. So we just rode with the current logo right now, which is the castle, and it's got some purple and blue in it with some silver around it. And we decided that would be our temporary logo until we finally got something that we love. So this part was unplanned, but I sent you the link. Did you have a chance to look at the new logo?
I did. I like the variety.
Very much so. Yeah. Try to bring your microphone closer to you. Let's see if I can hear you louder.
Is that better?
Get right up on it. Don't be shy.
Everybody hear me now?
A little bit more.
A little bit better? Oh, I know.
Let's try that. So, and just let us know, everybody, as long as let us know that we sound perfect. Corey and Lawrence, always prepared, says Anne. Hello, chat. How are you all? I hope you had a great Thursday, and now you're settling for an hour of some Thursdays Diz Pod. Always great to see you all here. And yeah, so I'm going to reveal the logo. This
Exciting.
is because we're going to reward all of you for being here live. Everyone else will have to see it on the replay, or they'll see it when we are live in the parks on Saturdays. So I feel like, let me see. Right now, I feel like the main logo is a particular one. Let me see if I can add it live here. Let me see if I can just add it live quickly here.
All right.
And then we'll reveal what it, yeah, here it is. It's the main one. And y'all ready? Drum roll.
I'm ready. Are you hearing me better, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let me know what you think in chat. And there she is. It's the LID. So with that, we're going to roll out some, all new merch. All new merch. We have 57 different looks to the LID, and we'll be rolling those out throughout the year.
Wow.
Throughout the year. I'm so excited about this. I can't get to work on it fast enough. This literally fell on my lap like 3 hours ago. I'm like, oh, wow. And I took it home to the family, and the family loves it. I got to ask Jill. Actually, Jill hasn't gotten her eyes on it yet, but Jacob really likes it, and so does Tammy. And it's looking like the chat is really responding well. Thank you so much, everybody. I've been so antsy about this, and it was worth every second of the wait. It was designed by Lucas, who is, you've seen him on stream before. It's Alyssa and Neil's son. He's an amazing guy, and he's very, very busy right now, and we thank him so much. I mean, it's amazing. So I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. And if you're listening on the app, the YouTube Music app, you can always flip over to video to see these things when we show things. So definitely do that. It's a little hard to explain. It's an L, it's an I, it's a D. The D and the I kind of come together in the center, and Mickey's head makes up the dot, which would be the I. So looks like everyone is loving it in chat. And here's just, like I said, we're in a 57 looks. Here is our little mermaid version right here. You've got the sun coming down, looking down. We're in the ocean. We're under the sea. And there's plenty of fish there with some coral and all that. Definitely no mistaking what that theme is right there. Steve Bullock says it was worth the wait. I see all you, Ann and Allison and Kimberly Park World, Terry, really loving the logo. That's amazing. And let's see. This is Jungle Cruise, and I'll show one more after this, and then we'll get into the show. We've got about 5 different Jungle Cruises. This one is really cool because everything else around it is solid, but you've got the letters that are kind of open up. So
yeah, it's kind of a reverse of what you would normally see. That's really different.
Yes, yes. And here's Halloween. I just told Tammy, this is the work in progress. We're going to do a Halloween t-shirt. And trust me when I say this, we can't get rich off merch, but I love to have the merch out there so that people, if they want it, they can wear it. I just love, not that we've seen many, but I love seeing our shirts in the parks. Sarah Henthorn is one that always gets different ones for the trip. Now you'll have more, Sarah, if you listen to the podcast. And so I want to take this Halloween logo and I want to put something, I want to pull something from maybe the lyrics of Booty You. And maybe we put something like, "It's really not that scary" as a quote. And here is what it looks like. He really outdid himself on all of these things, but this one he really outdid himself on.
Yeah, amazing job.
Isn't that amazing? The pumpkin is part of the D, and it's carved open a little bit, and there's another pumpkin inside. I mean, it's sick. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, the eye is carved into the pumpkin. I mean, he really did a good job.
Yeah, I can't get the smile off my face still. So lots of fun merch coming. I hope y'all grab something. Like I said, we don't get rich off this stuff, but we'd love to see that support for this brand new merch coming out. I'll see what I can slap that on: shirts, t-shirts, mugs, hats, whatever. So Goofy Guy says, who did this? This is Lucas, who is the son of Alyssa and Neil. Yeah. Corey, you need to carve the real life LID pumpkin now. Right? Right? Steve Bullock says, excellent work. Ann says, wow, can't wait for the shirt. I think that shirt could do pretty well. I said to Tammy, when we reveal that shirt on the store and I announce it on a live stream, we might sell 3 or 4 of those in one shot. So yeah, I talked about some other good things. So that is amazing. We'll start probably after this live stream. If you refresh the channel after a little bit, you'll see we don't have a new banner yet. I might put a temporary banner with the logo though. And you'll see the little button there for the logo too. And you know, we could literally do something like this live on the podcast live stream, and we could take the current logo in the top right hand corner and we could simply put it up there. We'll see if it goes up. There it is. We'll tighten that up. We'll make the background better, but we're going to enjoy that right there. It's the logo reveal, right?
That's really good.
So, yeah. Window decal for your vehicle, says Steve Bullock. Yes. Ooh, great idea. So just keeping the podcast moving now. So I wasn't sure how we wanted to reveal this. I didn't know if we wanted to reveal it all at once with the merch and everything. Boom, boom, boom. But Jacob said, do it however you want. I'm like, I've got to get this logo out there at least. Matching shirts this evening, says Jill. So if anyone's new here, Lawrence and I wear Hawaiian shirts on every show. I have to say that Lawrence had it first, and I was like, ooh, I got to go matchy. So I don't even know if he approves of this. I just did it. So forgive me if you didn't approve of us being matchy.
We just said last week that there's going to be a week where we may end up with wearing the same shirt. We didn't think it would be the next week, but here it is.
Yeah, Frank F says, matching is the only way to go. Corey, how are you, Corey? You rock, man, says Brent. Thank you, Brent. I'm doing great. Let me think. Next subject off the top. So I can't say the product yet, but we have our first affiliation with a company. And we're going to start testing the product. And if we like it, we'll agree to move forward and be an affiliate partner with this company. So it's something we'll test in the parks.
Okay.
And I'll tell you about it later. And as soon as we can announce it, we'll announce it. So we agreed in principle for the products to come out. And the thing is to note is it's not these stupid Instagram ones that I get all the time, you know, for sunglasses and this and that. It's none of that. This is very, very personal by I believe a mom and pop company who personally, when I left the park last night, the email had been sent while we were live. And he personally wrote me this long email and just started it out with just saying, I am such a huge fan of your channel and would love to give you the opportunity to be a partner with us. So I know that it wasn't just this generic thing. Yeah, so that's great. One thing and the last thing I'll say is this was like all at once in the last less than 24 hours. I don't even know if I say the word right, but Zion, the company that makes the gimbals, the white gimbal, the gimbals I've used for years. I built this channel on that company, and now we switched over to a different company. But they reached out and they want us to be a tester for them for equipment. So we're in the process of working out those details so that we can start testing out equipment for them. So why not?
Will it be white?
Oh, I'm hoping a new and improved. I'm hoping I can help them make the white gimbal better.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's got the ladies down. The ladies are attracted to the white gimbal easily. I like that feature. That's I'm gonna when I review it, I'm gonna say, guys, maybe it works for girls too. I don't know. David SC said, had to stop cutting the grass to switch to video to see the new logo. Was it worth shutting off the lawnmower, David? Lawrence, was the shirt you was waiting for today? Oh, was this the shirt you were waiting for today?
Not this one. No. No, I had this, I had this one for a while. Just haven't worn it.
Yeah, so this feels very contemporary to me, and we're featuring the contemporary tonight. So we thought this would be good to wear this tonight. This is part of the 50th celebration. And I liked this pattern. This was a really great pattern. So don't let us forget, we want to reveal our shirts, our Disney shirts under our Disney Hawaiian shirts. Tonight, I am, just before we get into our coaster presentation, tonight, I went all contemporary. Look at this contemporary mug. Look at me. So this has, the handle is the monorail red. And look at just all the work. This was part of the 50th as well. This is a great contemporary mug.
That's a
the
great
shape
mug.
is, what'd you call that shape? It's kind of triangle, but cylindrical.
Yeah.
You know, has Mickey and Minnie. And Mickey and Minnie look like they're from the 50s.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good mug.
Yeah, this is an Amaze Diz mug right there. And I am wearing, are you ready for this? I'm going to take it off just to show you all. Can you say matchy matchy to your shirt? Look at that.
That's awesome.
It's the Dooney and Burke 50th anniversary.
I like the ones that came with the 50th sliders.
Yeah, the 50th slider. It's gold, and yeah, and this is all last minute, right? We had like 2 minutes to go live. I'm like, what are you wearing? Hold on, I'll be right back. And then I ran to my room where I have all my magic bands displayed. Pulled this one right out of the Dooney box.
Very nice.
And grabbed. I pulled out a bunch of mugs. I ran by Tammy. I'm like, I gotta pull out the contemporary mug. So here we are.
I'm drinking out of the mug. Chip.
Hello, Chip. Nice to meet you, Chip. Okay. It is time for our first feature. It was Roller Coaster Day, National Roller Coaster Day yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at some video leading up to this. I was looking at some video from outside of Disney at some other roller coasters, wooden roller coasters. What's your favorite type of roller coaster? Do you like the steel coasters, or you're a fan of the wooden roller coasters?
Okay, so this is a great question, and I didn't even know you were going to ask that. So I like when we surprise each other. That's good. So I have to say, I probably do have a fear of the wooden roller coasters. They just don't feel safe to me.
Okay.
You know, the odds of the big, strong metal steel beams of those types of roller coasters, I never fear any of that. But I mean, there's been some roller coasters that have broken. So yeah, I have to say that I may have never been on a wooden roller coaster in my life.
Oh.
So what are my favorites? You mean like style?
Yeah.
You know, going upside down is not a priority for me, but if it does, cool. But I would probably say coasters that have as many different characteristics to themselves as possible. When I look at a roller coaster, I like to look at what it does. You know, so Slinky Dog, if people watch on the live streams, which I know all of you do, when I go over the 4 bumps or whatever at the end, you know, I'm like, you know, just because you're going up and down. That's something I've never ridden on any roller coaster ever. So that's unique. Okay. You know, so that's a unique piece. The part when you stop and you relaunch, I feel like that is something that's pretty new. It's unique to me. One of the things I told you about when we were at Universal with Velocicoaster. I mean, when you're on it, in any roller coaster you've ever been on that does a barrel roll, it'll come all the way around. Right. So especially if this is your first time on Velocicoaster, it there's points where it starts to go that way, and then it says nah, and then it goes again and it says nah, and brings you back again.
That was one of my favorite parts about Velocicoaster was that it just psychs you out. You think you're about to roll, nope, flip you back over.
Yeah, yeah. So that one has a ton of, you know, in the inverted drop. You know, that's a big drop. I'm fine with that. It doesn't. I'm fine if they don't have big drops like that either. But I embrace everything about Velocicoaster. It's scary in many ways, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your favorites?
I was always a fan of wooden roller coasters. There was a park where I used to live in New York, was in Far Rockaway, which is a long municipal beach. And there was a park called Playland there. And they had a wooden roller coaster called the Atom Smasher. So that was probably my first wooden or roller coaster total that I've done. And I was never a fan of loops until probably about 2004. I went to Six Flags America with a friend, and I just decided I was going to be brave and started doing ones with loops.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's now I can for the most part brave those. I didn't brave Velocicoaster until our trip. When was that? In May. And now I love Velocicoaster. So
I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. I was on it a couple weeks back, and I went on with a pretty young girl. I don't know, maybe she was 15, 16. And she screamed bloody murder. And it had to register with me, you know. I'm like, okay, is she enjoying this but screaming? And I looked over and she had to look at death. Oh. So immediately I felt badly for her, but then I started laughing. I felt badly, then I started laughing.
I had that experience one time. Well, that same day at Six Flags America, I'm doing all these loops and I'm taking it okay. And then we did a pirate ship, but the pirate ship not only swung, but it also rotated in what felt like two different directions. Like it was swinging and then it rolled. It was crazy. And this little kid was sitting next to me. And he looks over, he goes, "Mister, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm all right. Don't worry." But yeah, I could only imagine what my face looked like.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. Any other questions?
No, we're ready to jump into it.
Let's do this. I ranked. I don't know if I ranked them when I looked it up. I put it together. We'll say I put it together. The coasters from we'll go backwards. We'll go from the slowest coaster to the fastest coaster.
All right.
And I was going to just go with the Disney coasters, but I decided to include the Universal coasters as well.
Oh, you threw me for a loop. Now I have to re-rank mine. All right. I'm good.
Okay. Oh, you ranked yours, right? You ranked them?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, I mean, yeah, we can do that. We can rank them like, yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like some of those Universal coasters could just really blow away a lot of the other Disney coasters just because of the intensity. Let's just rank this. Keep the Disney ones ranked.
Okay. Like that. All right.
And then we can rank our Universal ones separately.
Okay.
So the slowest coaster of all the coasters between WDW and Universal Islands of Adventure is Space Mountain. Space Mountain at 27 miles per hour. How about that? I suppose I can kind of see that. I mean, you can't see it when you're on it. I would say it doesn't feel like a super fast coaster. So
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. James says the best state for roller coasters is California. I think Ohio might argue that with you, but sure. So number 2, at 34 miles per hour, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is number 2.
34?
Goes 34. Wow. I feel like it goes faster than 34. Not crazy fast. Or are you surprised?
Seems, like 34 seems like a lot.
Yeah. 34. Okay. 34. Probably at the very end, you know, after when the drop happens,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
But it kind of has a, if people haven't noticed, like from the live stream, it kind of has a quick takeoff, right?
Yeah,
You're in the mine and you're out of the mine before you know it,
that's true.
before you go visit the dwarves, you know.
Yeah.
So number 8, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at 36 miles an hour. It's 2 miles an hour faster than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. At number 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess that would be 4 technically, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror at 39 miles an hour. So it's not a coaster though, but
Yeah.
it was listed on my list. So we're talking speed. We'll just put that one in there. It's faster than the coasters I mentioned. So you actually drop faster than gravity on that ride. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. I had heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, they have mechanics that pull you.
Pull you.
I see
Yep.
Kathy in chat. Hello, Kathy. Tony Abbott says Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is small and compact in a congested area. Therefore, 34 miles per hour feels faster than it really is. Great point.
Yeah.
Then the next one in line is Slinky Dog Dash at 40 miles an hour. So
that's got to be after
like,
the second launch, I think.
Yeah,
right? That's faster than the first launch, I feel.
Yeah, but you do have at the beginning that turn and that drop, but I don't know. It doesn't seem, if we're thinking that Slinky Dog is 40, it doesn't seem faster than Big Thunder.
Mm.
And yeah, so the next one is Expedition Everest at 50 miles an hour. That might be 50 miles an hour. No, you know what? I believe that, because when you come out of that big drop, I feel like I'm pulling some serious G's going around some of those corners, you know? And I have to try to keep my mouth closed, and it's hard. Got to try to keep my mouth dry, because sometimes a little bit of drool kind of like slides out the back, the side, and people behind me are like wiping their faces.
Like, it's raining. No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's funny. So Rock and Roller Coaster is next. Can you believe it? Rock and Roller Coaster is next at 57 miles per hour.
Wow. That takeoff is something else. But I think it's
really
also fast. To me, I think it's fast most of the way. Whereas like Big Thunder has some speed changes. Obviously, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train does. But that one, to me, feels like it's moving the whole way.
I'll have to keep a close eye on that next time, because I feel like you get the launch and then you kind of just cruise and it's easy. Like, everybody gets caught up on, if they're fearful of it, they get caught up on the launch. But once it launches, there's nothing to that roller coaster, in my opinion. You've got a couple of upside down loops, and then you just kind of cruise along, and it's a low coaster. It's not even, you can see the ground.
Right.
It's not even that high off the ground. So 57, I will share a factual story with everybody. So I had this wonderful time for like a month of where I had a patient who was a former cast member. I've had cast members before for physical therapy, and he helped build a lot of these rides. And he built Rock and Roller Coaster. And when they first were testing, they were testing that thing at like 99 miles an hour for the launch. Yes. Yeah, cast members were throwing up. They were throwing up all over the place. And they started to dial down the speed, you know, until they got it to something that was doable and bearable. And he was part of that testing, and he had injuries to this day that he incurred on that ride because of the testing. If I want to backtrack, if I'm thinking about him, he had a story on Tower of Terror where they had an issue, and the only way they could figure out what was wrong to fix it was to have somebody strap themselves to the bottom side of the entire, what would you call the whole casing, the whole elevator itself, you know, under the floor, strapped to the bottom, and he had to ride it to analyze what was wrong. And he did it. and they fixed it.
Who signed up for that job?
I know, right? I know. It's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, he shared. I couldn't wait for him to come in, week after week for new stories,
Yeah.
I always picked his brain for things. So that's a couple. I'll have another one when we get to test track because we're coming up on test track. So just to summarize, we have Space Mountain at 27 miles per hour, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at 34, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at 36, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror at 39, Slinky Dog Dash at 40, Expedition Everest at 50, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith with 57 miles per hour. Keep that good stuff coming in chat, Tony Abbott. I see you throwing down all that fun coaster stuff. Way to get into the spirit, my friend. Next up, Tron Light Cycle at 60 miles per hour. It is Tron. If I want to interject with Universal Studios, Hagrid's would check in tied with Expedition Everest in the midway point at 50 miles per hour.
That, to me, that feels like it goes faster than 50.
I would say that because it has that moment where it goes into a second speed.
Yes. Yes.
And I thought that was as fast as Velocicoaster.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a little bit surprising. So Tron Light Cycle is 60 miles per hour. And the number 2 fastest is Guardians of the Galaxy at 60. I wouldn't have guessed that. I don't feel like that's a fast coaster at all. Maybe you're deceived because the cars swivel. I would never guess that is 60 miles per hour. Maybe when you go backwards is the top speed.
Maybe backwards. I also know when you go around the moon and you get almost to the bottom, it starts to kick into another gear. I love that. I love that part. It all of a sudden you're just cruising, you're looking at the moon, and then you hit that speed.
Yes, you do. It's like the loop around the moon. Boom, the boost,
Yeah. I think there's one other part that I'm forgetting where it is, but I think there's another part where it starts to you can feel some of that speed too.
Yeah.
Need to ride it again.
I know. Let's just go ride it again. When we, it's funny. I always talk about our life schedules are so busy all the time, but we get gig offers from Disney all the time. Almost every week I'm saying no to something. And sometimes we'll get things like that. Like, here's a job for, I don't know, $175. They always have to put 12 hours. So they know they have you for 12, but you almost never work 12.
Okay.
And it could be, must be willing to ride Guardians of the Galaxy multiple times the entire time. Twist my arm. Yeah. We just got a DVC one that I had to say no to. It was some kind of DVC promotion, video promotion. But yeah, we have to say no to a lot of things just because of school and work and things like that. And number 1, I wouldn't think of this as a coaster, but I guess you can kind of put it in that category, or we can at least say the fastest ride in all of Walt Disney World is still Test Track at 65 miles per hour.
The speedometer technically says 64.9. Exactly.
64.9 is what it is. And if you work in the Incredible Hulk coaster and Jurassic World Velocicoaster, you would put the Incredible Hulk would actually be faster than any coaster at Disney at 67. 67. So that's 2 miles an hour faster than Test Track. Jurassic World Velocicoaster is 70. So that would be the fastest coaster out of the 2 parks.
So, all right, so some of them are indoors and some are outdoors. What's your favorite indoor coaster?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Sorry it took so long to respond.
Mine too.
It's hands down.
Yeah.
It's so unique. It's so unique. Young Hannah, that has been popping in chat recently, again, she goes way back a few years with us on the channel. Don't even know how young she is, but she messaged me on Instagram this week while she was at Disney. She comes down once or twice a year. and she had yet to ride Guardians, and she'd seen it on stream, I'm sure. And then she just wrote back, OMG, about this ride. I'm like, yeah, you just don't even know what it's like. We can't even portray what it is like for people watching at home as to how unique and wonderful that coaster is. Jillian and I talk about it. It's like, this is the best way I can come up with it. It's like floating in space, and then a comet comes by and hits you in the butt, and you're just riding that comet through the Milky Way.
100%.
You know, it just feels that free. So
the first time we rode it, we got Everybody Wants to Rule the World, which doesn't make the ride feel fast, but it does help give to me, it helps give you that feeling of floating through space. So that was always the first thing that I thought about. And then as we got other songs, then it started to feel even faster to me. But it's definitely my favorite indoor coaster for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, give us your ranking of the coasters. So of the top 10, did you also include the Test Track and Twilight Zone in that list, or did you just
they did not make my top 5. I did 5.
Okay,
you doing 5?
Yeah, we'll do 5.
Okay.
Give me your top 5.
So Goofy's Barnstormer, you didn't call that one out there.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't have it for speed. I actually don't. So shame on me.
Or the Hippogriff.
Oh gosh, right.
They didn't make the top speed ones.
Yeah, they didn't make the top speeds. We kept them out.
So I'm gonna say number 5 for me is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. A lot of people think it's short. I think it's nice because you have, you're in the cave, you're out of the cave. It's got some elements of a classic Disney dark ride to it, and the cars swing back and forth, which is kind of cool. And then I also like that was the first ride where that I experienced that they did the video instead of just the PhotoPass picture. This one has the video. Yeah. So for me, that was number 5. What about you?
For me, I'm going to go right with you with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train being number 5. I feel like it settles in nicely at number 5 because the theming is great. I mean, the theming is simple. I mean, the queue is a cave. It's not that hard to do if we're evaluating the whole thing. But I love it. But you know what? We're not really evaluating the queues, but maybe we can do a segment sometime where we talk about the queues. So I'll just quickly mention it's really great with the barrels. If everybody spins all the barrels, you get the projections on the ceiling. And you get Snow White to appear. But if we're just sticking with the coaster, has a nice quick takeoff. The uniqueness is the cars do sway back and forth. Tammy and Jill just love to get that car swaying as much as they can. Yeah. I can't participate much because I always have a stream in my hand. And so I can't really participate in that part of it. I love stopping in the mine and seeing the animatronics and the diamonds. And, believe it or not, one of the favorite things of mine too is just when you stop at the end and you spend a moment watching them dance with Snow White inside.
Right.
So I guess with all that said, it's still number 5 for me. It feels short. A lot of them are short, but I wish it was longer. But I'm comfortable with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at number 5. What's your number 4?
I have Rock and Roller Coaster. For me, the takeoff, I'm good with the inversion. And in fact, we went, I can't remember what it was, but we went with some friends of ours, and their daughter had never done Rock and Roller Coaster. And we come through the pre-show, and she sees the takeoff, and she looks at us and she goes, "I may have made a grave mistake." And she sat next to me. And when we took off, she squeezed my hand so hard because of that takeoff. But I think she did end up enjoying it. But yeah, that would be my number 4.
Always nice when someone anticipates being scared and then they come off the ride loving it.
Yeah.
So my number 4 is something that had to grow on me. The first time I did it, I was preoccupied with the stream not being perfect on it. I carried that with me for a long time until last week. Last week. And I finally streamed it perfectly. So I've got it figured out. And that's Tron. I felt in the beginning that the track wasn't that unique, but the ride vehicles are very unique. The queue is beautiful in blue. Yeah. They did a great job with it. It's really, really simple to get in too. And I feel comfortable in it. I would say, and this is for those, and those in chat know who I'm talking about, if you feel uncomfortable in closed spaces, I feel like it's much more difficult if you compare the ride vehicle to Flight of Passage. Yeah. I feel like that one restricts you more as opposed to getting in Tron. It's a very soft touch to your back, I feel like, with the other one. I don't think it's pushing on you. And so I described the Tron track as being very basic, besides when you launched and you get that long loop around. That's the most fun of the whole ride, I feel like. And it's only 45 seconds, but it's very pretty, and it's growing on me more and more. So I'm going to leave it at number 4.
So number 3 for me would be Tron. I do like the excuse me, the theming. In fact, the night before we wrote it during the preview, I had watched Tron Legacy, so it was fresh in my mind, which was great. The launch, I just love. Even when the announcement's counting down 3, 2, 1, and you're gone. The front is definitely where it's at. So I'm glad on July 5th that you did the front. And I was pushing for you to do that ride because I knew if you got to experience it again, it would be different. So I was really happy that you did it. So yeah, for me, it'd be number 3.
You told me that getting off the ride, and I was really thankful for that you had that in mind, and I'm glad it met your expectations. Lawrence made sure that I got on that ride, and also that I wasn't streaming the ride either. Yeah. So I got to soak it all in. So, but now that I've done it, I guess it's one of the more enjoyable rides to stream because this simple fact, I can get my hands on the vehicle. Compare it to like Small World. People might be like, what? Small World. I have so many visuals that I have to display while we're on that ride. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at the item. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at the item. Tron is go, and it's on my chest. I'm not even having to hold it and having to point it. So I can kind of get the full enjoyment of the ride while everyone else is having the same experience. Mm-hmm. So I like that too. Mrs. J says, Corey, the first time you streamed Tron, you captured the excitement of it, in my opinion. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. We lagged like in like, was it the outside?
The outside.
Yeah. It was weird. But I'm so glad we got it down now. So let's move to number 3. My number 3 is Slinky Dog. Hang on. The theming is so cute. It's unbelievable. It's theming that only Disney could do. Yeah. You're in Andy's backyard and all the things to look at. Disney did skimp on a lot of things. There's a lot of things that they did not incorporate with the theming of that ride. And, you can look up, you can Google, concept art for Slinky Dog, and you can see all the things. You can pick them all out that are not there. Oh. Like, there's supposed to be, what's his name? Ham, whatever, the pig. Yep. He's supposed to have a section, and there's other sections there that aren't there. And if you wait in the queue before you're about to board the ride, Andy has that crayon drawing of the Slinky Dog ride. Right. And you can pick out all the things that are not on that ride. They're on the board, which is pretty cool. But
Very cool.
but like I said, it's unique. The ride vehicle is super cute. I do like the drop. It circles around and you feel like you're in the middle of Toy Story land and everybody's looking at you,
Yeah.
as you're coming down. And he zips by and you're going through all these toys, these toy areas. And then you stop. And it's supposed to be the effect of the Slinky getting smaller, getting ready to launch, and the fire rolls and here we go. And you go. And I just always, again, I'm laughing at people that get scared. I laugh every time because when we get launched, Tammy hates that part, where you get launched up the hill. Right. I just start laughing and going, this is Tammy's favorite part. And then I do this all the time too, because it reminds me of an action movie when action's going fast and then it slows down for a second. That's the explanation of why. And you get a great look at Galaxy's Edge. So that's why when we go up there, I go, Galaxy's Edge, show it, and then whoosh, we're back down, So that's if you all recall that in chat, that's why I do that. And then you get into the inchworm. That's what I call it. Whoa. And then you dive down and you finish with, you got a friend in me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. So that's my number 3, Slinky Dog.
Yeah. So my number 2 is Slinky Dog. And funny enough, Finley, we always see it. It's Toy Story. It's colorful. It's bright. The theming's great. And so she would watch it, and then finally when she was tall enough to do it, she wanted to do it, and she got off and was just never wanted to do it again. And then finally she was like, well, maybe I'll do it when I'm older. We're like, okay, that's fine. And she did it again recently. And when she got off, she cried, but not because she was afraid of the ride, but because she wanted to do it 2 more times. And I think at that point the wait was like 90 minutes or something. So, so it's one of her favorites now, which is good.
That's amazing, Diz. My number 2 is Expedition Everest. Love that ride. Again, the theming is incredible. To walk through there and just, whether it's real or not, I'm sure some of it is real, just to see the equipment that it would take to climb Everest. Yeah. They have imprints of the Yeti's, footprints and things like that. It's great theming. And to be able to go up and the visuals you have when you're going up, you can look to your left, your right, especially when you look to your left. You see all of Walt Disney World. You can see Space Mountain. You can see Tower of Terror. I'm just trying to recall. I'm sure we can see Magic Kingdom. Yeah. And so there's so much to see. And then when you come up, all of a sudden you have no idea of your height anymore for a moment, because now you're within the depths of the mountain. Right. And to design something where it looks like the track is all torn up, and to create, cool. To quote the legendary Stacy, and this is what I'm talking about here. But so into this conversation, I didn't show some photos, but we're going to show them before we wrap this up. Right there, you come right up, and if you get to sit in the front row, you overlook the very same things I said that you can see. Mm-hmm. And if you look closely, there's a lot of hair ties there. So the thing is, if you have a hair tie, it's a rite of passage to throw your hair tie onto the mountain.
I was wondering if you were going to mention that. I was going to mention it if you didn't. That's funny.
Oh, good. Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
So there's that. And,
alike. Yeah. I'm guessing we know what our number 1 is for both of us.
Well, yes, it's Guardians, right? Guardians of the Galaxy. We talked about it before. It's such a unique ride. I don't know if there's any other roller coaster out there in the world that does what it does with the turning and everything. Yeah. The cues are amazing, but we can save that for Q Talk. We'll have to do a Q Talk, rank our favorite cues. But, the screens, the music that comes up to enjoy. It's funny because there's conversation going on during the ride.
Yep.
And so that is my number 1 as well. See that we agreed on that. We did a poll,
Oh, I
poll
saw
during
it.
all this. Yes. So it was, what type of coaster do you prefer? None, wooden, or steel? And of course, steel at 61% wins out. The wooden coaster was 22%, and at 19%, none. So none is, it's probably lower than I expected. So that's pretty good, I guess.
Yeah,
You know?
and there is a hybrid. Someone mentioned it in chat earlier. There is a hybrid, and that was one of the videos I was watching last week. Is some of these older wooden roller coasters, you know, what affects it really is the track, and the track on the wood really destroys a lot of that. So there's some companies that are going in and retrofitting them with steel tracks. And so you might have a wooden roller coaster that actually can do loops because it's got a steel
Wow.
track now around it. So yeah, pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That is pretty cool. Like to see an episode on the best water rides at the parks. Which one gets the wettest and which is the fastest? Okay. I like that. If we can pull up enough research for that, I like that. I like that
Good
a
idea.
lot. So just to close out this here, just for the ones that are watching, that's Test Track. That's just a sample of what it looks like there. And of course, our number one, Guardians, right there. And Tron, always beautiful to look at, especially at night. And Rock and Roller Coaster with the legendary Aerosmith guitar. Sleepy Dog with the incredible toy theming and ride vehicle. We did include, for speed purposes, we did include Tower of Terror. And then, of course, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So we did not choose. Wait, you chose Rock and Roller Coaster, though. So which one was in my, not in my top 5, and which was not in yours? I did not choose Rock and Roller Coaster. It did not
Rock and Roller Coaster, and you chose Everest.
Okay.
Other than that, our top 5 was the same, except for those.
Interesting. And there's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And we have the inside of Space Mountain. And we have a few more. We also have, let's see. Oh, there's Barnstormer.
Yeah.
There it is. It's so tight and small. That is truly very close to an only kids ride. And I thought this would be a great photo for Velocicoaster. The hang time when you're upside down is crazy. It's absolutely
I think that almost stopped me from doing it. I was like, oh, that's a lot of time, but I was like, no, let's just go for it.
It's literally a lot of hang time. And what I usually do when I'm going over the crowd of the walkway there, I yell "Living in Diz."
I love
represent. Got to represent. And then, of course, Hulk. Now, I don't care if I ever go on Hulk again, and that's kind of what Jacob and I said to each other once Hagrid's and Velocicoaster opened. We're like, the reason why, it's a little bit stressful on my neck, that ride. That ride is mainly made up of corkscrews. There's a lot of like corkscrew type of upside down stuff, which I don't mind, and they're in tight spaces. And I get off there and I just feel a little disoriented. And I just feel like I got to work on my neck for a little bit after I get off it. So it's just not worth it for me. And I probably won't ever do it again, but I wouldn't rule it out either.
I've never done that one, but for me, that would be the issue is, you know, a lot of corkscrews and inversions. It's going to bother my neck a lot more than I would want to.
Yeah. Why invite that in? And there is Hagrid's. So can you believe? Well, we did an intro. We talked for a little bit of the intro. It's 54 minutes into this, baby.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
54 minutes in.
Wow.
You know what? I might make an executive call on this and say a little less work for you to have to do next week.
Okay.
Should we hold off on the contemporary?
We can. I'm good if you're good. Yeah.
Because I have a little bit more of roller coaster fun to talk about.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So we can go over a little bit of history here. So Space Mountain was the first major thrill ride to open at Walt Disney World in 1975. It was created in response to the growing popularity of the parks among teens and young adults, and its success led to the creation of 4 more versions of the ride at other Disney parks. When I went to the seminar with Tony Baxter,
Hmm.
he talked about Space Mountain, and Space Mountain affected Big Thunder Mountain. If I get it right, for Disney World, I gotta get this right. They ended up building Space Mountain because of the growing popularity of the space program at the time. And
Okay,
they needed something to get people into the parks. So that was their way of getting people into Disney World, was people are coming on vacation already to go to the Space Coast. Let's build a space ride.
Yeah.
That's the origins of Space Mountain.
Yeah, I could see that. That does sound familiar. I may be remembering it from that stream.
Yeah. So if I'm correct in remembering this, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in Disneyland ended up getting built first.
Mm.
And they held off on Space Mountain there so they could do Space Mountain here, which delayed Big Thunder Mountain here. It's something like that. Yeah. Thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So, and speaking of Big Thunder Mountain, it was originally conceived as part of a larger Western Pavilion expansion in 1973, but was delayed due to the cost of the opening of Pirates of the Caribbean and resources needed for Space Mountain. Look at that. I didn't even read that prior to this. Boy knows his stuff. I know a little bit. Well, I heard it from the mouth of the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Creator.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, I just got a confirmation from Zion. So I'll have to read that later.
Oh.
Exciting times at Living in Diz. Rock and Roller Coaster opened in 1999 and was and it was at Disney's MGM Studios at the time. The coaster features a launch that takes riders from 0 to 57 miles per hour in fewer than 3 seconds and plays Aerosmith songs. It travels over 3,400 feet. Expedition Everest is a high-speed train adventure through the Himalayan mountains that opened in 2006. It features an 80-foot drop and reaches speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. Barnstormer, will give Barnstormer a little bit more love. It is a junior coaster located in Fantasyland that is perfect for younger guests or those who are new to roller coasters. It features mild drops, twists, and turns, and is a great entry-level ride. You know what I love about that ride is the simulated crashing through the billboard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? It's the imprint of Goofy. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is a family-friendly coaster that opened in 2014. It features a pivoting coaster car design that allows the cars to swing side to side. Tammy and I remember going on vacation prior to the kids, I think, to Disney World. And that's when Fantasyland was under construction. So we saw half of the track when we got there for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. That was kind of neat to see something like that being built outside like that. Slinky Dog Dash is a family-friendly coaster located in Toy Story Land, built in 2018. And Tron, the newest coaster in the Disney lineup, launched on April 4th. Now, we're going to go into, before we wrap it up, the history of coasters. You didn't know I was going to do that, did you?
No.
I don't know if I sent you that. So the history of the roller coaster is quite fascinating. Roller coasters have their origins in ice slides that were constructed in the 18th century Russia. These early rides featured sleds or wheeled carts that were sent down hills of snow reinforced by wooden supports. The technology evolved in the 19th century to feature railroad tracks using wheeled cars that were securely locked to the track. Whoever would have thought that, right?
Wow.
The world's oldest roller coaster descended from the Russian mountains, where the hills were ice built in the 17th century for the purpose of sliding. Located in the gardens of palaces around the Russian capital, St. Petersburg. Many other languages also reference Russian mountains when referring to roller coasters, such as Spanish, Italian, French. I don't know what that is. So Catherine the Great of Russia constructed a summer version of the ride in 1784, which relied on wheeled carts instead of sleds that rode along grooved tracks. The technology continued to evolve, with newer innovations emerging in the early 20th century with side friction and under friction technologies to allow for greater speeds and sharper turns. How about that?
Very cool.
Yeah. The fastest coaster in the world at the time of printing this is the Formula Rossa, R-O-S-S-A. It's located at Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi. And let's see how fast it goes. I think it opened in 2010. And it's ready for this. It's a maximum speed of 240 miles an hour. 240 miles per hour.
And our fastest roller coaster that we talked about was...
I stand corrected. It was worth the laugh, but they actually put that in kilometers.
Oh.
149 miles per hour.
A mere 149.
That's still twice the speed of Orlando roller coasters, the fastest Orlando roller coaster. 149 miles per hour. Riders can experience the feeling of being in a Ferrari with this ride. Can you imagine? I would, I would ride it though. I do crazy things on vacations.
Yeah.
Something gets into me.
Yeah. Wow.
So let's see. According to some sources, Takobisha is considered the scariest roller coaster in the world. Takobisha is a Eurofighter steel roller coaster located in the Fuji Q Highland theme park in, is it Fujiyoshida? It's in Japan, and it's known for its 121-degree free fall angle and travels around 62 miles per hour. The ride takes the riders through 7 major twists before starting the drop of 47 feet at a 120-degree free fall angle. You got to feel like you're coming out of that thing. You know, I don't know what angle Velocicoaster drops at, but yeah.
Wow.
Kind of crazy. Let's talk about the oldest roller coaster. The oldest roller coaster in the world is Leap the Dips. It's at Lakemont Park near Altoona, Pennsylvania. It was built in 1902, and it is a wooden roller coaster it has the side friction type and is believed to be the last surviving side friction roller coaster of its kind. Yeah. There was a fund-raising campaign to try to restore it and refurbish it in 1997, and it ended with a grand reopening in 1999. So if you're ever in Pennsylvania, Altoona, go visit that and say that you were able to ride the oldest coaster in the world, or running roller coaster in the world, I guess, right?
I have a correction on my first roller coaster.
Okay.
So hot off the presses. I was corrected. My first roller coaster ride was actually in 1976. My mom went to Coney Island in New York and was still pregnant with me. so that was my first roller coaster ride.
Tony Abbott says the second fastest is, according to his 14-year-old son, is in New Jersey. Let's see. Wrapping this up here. We're almost at the end here. Another safety mechanism. If we're like talking about how they're constructed, sometimes you want to know how this stuff works. Roller coaster cars are secured to the track using a variety of safety mechanisms. One of the most important is the wheeled assembly. Coaster train wheel assemblies have 3 sets of wheels, one on top, one on the side to maintain the smooth movement down the track, and one on the underside of the track called under friction wheels. These under friction wheels pin the train to the track and preventing derailment during the ride's violent motion. Another safety mechanism is the restraint system. Once you've made it into the coaster car, it will secure you by one of 2 basic restraint systems. They have the lap bar, of course, and the shoulder harness. I really love the ones that come up in between your legs, and then when the shoulder harness comes down, they kind of meet. That makes me feel the most secure out of anything that I ride. And lastly, roller coasters also have a block brake system that makes sure trains do not collide with each other on the track. They are controlled by sensors on the track, which give the coaster computer called the Programmable Logic Controller, the PLC, information on where the train is around the track at all times. So there we touched on safety, the fastest, the scariest, all kinds of things. I think we did a nice job on coaster talk, right? Everybody blast the chat for Steve Bullock and Tony dropped a random gift to Stephanie Keel. Congratulations, Stephanie. Enjoy that membership. I know you know how to use it. Congratulations. And so let's just jump right into this before we'll wrap it up. I don't think we have too much to touch on. Parks this week. You know, the weeks go by so fast, I have to write down notes on this. So I rode Tron. We've already talked about Tron, but yeah, did you say you wanted to touch on something about that?
Yes. So 2 things for me. When you were streaming Tron, you were walking up with Jacob, and I'm like, okay. And I thought Kathy was gonna attempt it. And then she said no, and I said, well, it's just gonna be the 2 of them. And then all of a sudden, Tammy says, no, I'm riding. What?
Blew me away. I was so excited at that point.
Oh, that was great. I was so glad. And then I was sitting there when it started because I was with you when you streamed it the first time, and we lagged outside, which seems crazy to me. I was sitting on my couch. And I'm like, come on, hold it, hold the stream, and it held it the whole way. It was great. It was so good.
Woohoo! Yes. I'm so happy. I had increased confidence going into that this time because I thought, okay, I used this signal the first time. I'm just going to go with the other signal, which was my original choice the first time we went. And because I was monitoring it in the queue and watching, it was holding fine. So I'm like, maybe this is the way to go. And it wasn't. But I passed my friend Kelly of Myers of the Mouse on our way in, and we have the same equipment. And he's like, I stream it fine every time. We compared notes, and I'm like, that's exactly what I'm going in with. So it worked. So nice. I was very happy about that for sure. I can't think of anything else that happened of mention on Saturdays. It was just a fun time. With Kathy, and we had a good time. And so let's see, this week we hit Epcot. We hit the Food and Wine Festival again and tried some amazing foods. I'm really trying to be objective and give honest reviews, but I'm eating a lot of foods this time that are 5 out of 5s. And I'm telling the truth, because what was it? The festival before. That's the worst festival that I've seen for selections of food. Yeah. It wasn't great. Like, we hit the good stuff, and then there just wasn't other stuff that I even wanted to try. So this festival has been amazing so far. So I probably have to say overall.
Tuesday night?
not only was there a favorite, I'd have to go back and check myself, or I know how much y'all pay attention in chat. If there's something else I raved about dessert wise right now, the what was the name of it? The barbecue, the chocolate strip, the salted chocolate caramel bar that I had the right amount of salt on it, the right amount of caramel, and to have a barbecue crust on the bottom of it was unbelievable. My taste buds were doing backflips. It was unbelievable. It was so good. I might say I would get that as much as I'd get the yuca fries. You know, it was so good. That might be the best dessert of any festival I've been to. So I'm high on that one. I am really, really high on it. Yeah, Ann Gilnack says in chat, you loved that chocolate dessert so much. Yeah, next time I go, I'm going to get it again. And I'm going to try to have Tammy try it, and Jacob, you know. Jill's not a big lover of chocolate, so I wouldn't try that. Try that with her. But it was so good. There, I also had the chimichurri taco. Very good. I think I gave it a 4 or a 4.5. Wasn't a 5, I don't think. But had that. We ran over to France. I had never eaten at a food booth, a France food booth. Just never have. I think just at a glance, things didn't really hit me right on the menu, and what changed me, and it was always busy over there. But what changed me from that was when we went with our friends Holly and Jeff over to Chef de la France a few months ago. That beef bourguignon over there was so good. I really enjoyed that restaurant, and I can see us going back multiple times for sure. So I'm like, I'm going to attack this French booth. So I think I pulled 3 things from that menu. Had the beignet. I've never had a savory beignet. And so we had the 3 cheese beignet. It was really good. The texture of the cheese on top was hard, but not in a bad way. And the inside was the consistency of if you made a thick grilled cheese at home and you just squeezed the bread a little bit and the cheese oozed out.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about beignets, I think that they hold heat well. I mean, you can order a tray of beignets, I feel like, at Port Orleans, and you can be having a conversation. And when you reach for that second beignet or whatever, it's still warm. That cheese was warm to hot still. And we'd been talking for a few minutes before I even tried it. So everything in France was really good. I'm trying to remember what else I even had. I had the escargot croissant, which was really good.
We're gonna get Neil to have one of those.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what we have to do. So all in all, great food over there. Last night went over to Magic, dealt with some rain, but Gimbrella, my tiny umbrella, for all you that don't know, that don't watch the live stream, I've got a beautiful tiny umbrella, and I've mastered how to hook that up to just pop it on and take it off. Yeah. At will, and multiple times yesterday dealing with the rain. I just popped it off, put it back in my pouch on the side. It worked really well. I feel like I managed the rain well by myself, because it's always easier when somebody's with me to handle the umbrella, while I'm streaming and everything. But I handled it all well. And thanks to Go Mini, who I don't think is in chat right now, but we thought we were done for the night because Extra Magic Hours had started. And I just wanted to take a long walk out of Magic. And in chat, she was like, you can go to Country Bears. Not only did we do Country Bears earlier, that's a LID record right there. Country Bears in two times in one stream. That'll never happen again.
Yeah.
But it was cool to just keep the stream going and just do it one more time. So yeah, lots of goodness. Another good week in the parks. Yeah, that's it for this week, I think. Want to thank you all in chat. We have to thank our sponsors and mention our sponsors. Tonight, I thought we had a really great podcast on all that roller coaster goodness. And
that was fun.
Yeah, and in the top right-hand corner, that's the new logo, everybody. That's LID from here on out. We'll be doing all the branding this week to change it all up. I'll start working on the merch in the stores. We got a great Halloween t-shirt that I'm going to design along with that logo. It's going to be great. So let's just hit up our sponsors really quickly here. Do I have the video to run of that? Yes, I do. Here we go. We'll just run that video quick. If you're looking to move towards the magic with over a decade of people, with over a decade of helping people find the homes of their dreams, Victor Naraki is the perfect realtor of Vision Home Real Estate LLC to help you find the home of your dreams. Simply go to DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. That's DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com. And you can also email Victor with any questions at celebratingflorida@gmail.com. Victor is your guy. If you're thinking, definitely reach out to Victor. And also, if you're about to start planning your next vacation, book your next vacation with Your Magical Adventures Await. Claudia is creating Disney adventures worldwide. She can book anything Disney for you. Walt Disney World, Florida, right here in our own backyard, where Victor could help you purchase the house, all that. But you wouldn't go on vacation there, right? But she could take you to any Disney park worldwide, Disney Cruise Lines, Alani Resort in Hawaii, guided group vacations with Adventures by Disney, and she's also a Universal Studios expert. When you book with her, her services are free, so you don't even have to worry about the extra. And you can reach her Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Make your magical planner, Claudia Anderson, today from Your Magical Adventures Await, 956-455-8049. And definitely hit her up on Instagram. She's a great follow, Claudia Anderson, all one word, and let her know that we sent you. And I have to say kudos to Lawrence and family for booking with Claudia last night. Amazed is, can't thank you enough. We work really hard to get her some business, and truly, 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 any of you in chat, it's for you and it's for everyone listening. Even if you've come to Disney multiple times in your life, just reach out to Claudia. It really helps Claudia. It helps the channel. She puts in effort and money to advertise with us. We want to give it back to her so that we can continue to promote her. And it's simple. Even if you have everything planned, call her. I'm sure she'll have something to help you out with that you didn't know. And everybody makes out all around. You get your trip, she gets her slice of the pie, and we get ours too. So
and I gotta say real quickly. So number one, I plan trips to Disney all the time. She ended up saving me hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
Hundreds of dollars. Number one. Number two, the emails continue to come. If I was a newbie, that is exactly where I would go because she helps you plan the whole thing. It's been great to see the process. So definitely excited and glad that I went and used her services.
And we have I've talked with her too before for potential trips that we had been talking about. So I can see her expertise and professionalism when she and I talk about things. She has everything covered, everything. Yeah. She even has everything covered right down to live streaming. When we were talking about wanting to go to Disneyland Paris, she's like, I just want you to know that by the time you go, they might have outlawed live streaming.
Yeah.
And vlogging in Disneyland Paris. So if you're looking to stream something, you might want to go to Disneyland California instead. Just so you know. People, I don't know. Those are the things she'll think about that maybe other travel agents won't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. You're so welcome, Steve. All right. Good night, everyone watching live. If you're watching or listening on the rewatch, thank you so much. Episode 11 coming your way next week. Oh, but before we go, we have to reveal our Disney shirt underneath our Disney shirt. Do I say that right? Yeah. Catherine Silverio just dropped the $1.99 super chat. Don't forget to like the podcast, everyone. Share it out to all your friends. And we appreciate all of you. I hope you're really enjoying the live podcast. And we reached over 800 views and listens.
Sure did.
Our goal this week is 1,000. Let's see if we can get there. Mine is unrelated to anything we talked about tonight, and it is Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
Ah,
And
there you go.
yeah,
Mine.
I feel like it's a rare shirt. I feel like this was kind of sold and like never made it back to the shelves. Now, because I'm saying that, we're at Hollywood this weekend.
You'll see it in 7 different places.
I will. Reveal your shirt, your Disney shirt under your Disney shirt.
So mine is related.
It says, things I do in my spare time: roller coasters, watch others ride roller coasters, research roller coasters, talk about roller coasters, think about roller coasters, dream about roller coasters. That's amazing. Did you happen to have that shirt, or did you get it for the show?
Got it for the show about 6:37. My not the FedEx guy this time, but Amazon showed up. Yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Elisa says she loves my shirt. Great shirt. Corey says, Catherine, great shirt for Lawrence as well. And yeah, that'll do it for tonight. Solid gold, says Anne. Solid gold is our logo. And we have so many different styles of that logo to share with you all. And glad you all loved it. Thank you all for being here. And till next week,
We'll see you next week.
For my Diz bro and me, we'll see you on the next Diz pod, everyone.